Did pressure ever unnerve you? The big moment, did it ever unnerve you?
No, I actually like pressure. I think I focused better when the game was on the line. And if you look out through my career, I actually played better on the road than at home. Most guys always play good at home, being comfortable, but I like to play on the road. I like a hostile crowd. I like to do things to shut them up.
Now, sometimes, though, people don't perform under pressure because they don't think about succeeding. They think about what would happen if they fail. So the big Game 7 when Willis limped out, hit the first 2 shots, you're the real star of that game. Did you think about failing?
I didn't think. That's what happened. I just reacted.
Okay.
You know, but when I left the locker room, Holtzman pulled me to the side and said, Clyde, hit the open man. You know, like every playoff game, like if we were playing the Bullets, he'd say, Clyde, forget about offense. Just concentrate on defense, stopping Monroe.
Okay.
So this particular game, he told me to hit the open man, but as the game progressed, I was the open man.
Then you hit him.
Did you ever see, especially if players came to New York, them crumble under the pressure?
Yeah, I've seen West. I've seen a lot of stars just for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a crucial turnover here and there. But it's like in the Old West when the Cowboys shoot the Indian chief. They have to go back and regroup. When you see West throw the ball away, lose his composure, that gives you a lot of confidence. He's the leader of the team, man. You start thinking, we got these guys.
You've got the best basketball players in the world in the city for the weekend. And the Knicks are going to have to recruit free agents. But a lot of people think, Walt, that this is not a destination anymore. I mean, it's not a big deal for people to play for the Knicks. They like playing at Madison Square Garden when they come in, but they don't want to play for the Knicks. Do you sense that?
No. This is still the Mecca. This is where, like you say, when look at all these guys coming to New York. When they mention New York, they light up because they know the fans, this is the biggest stage. So I think there's still guys that want to come here. Maybe not as much as in the past, but there's still guys that realize this is an opportunity. This is the place to be, the place to play. So, I don't know. I heard you talking about Melo recruiting guys, right. And, you know, that's a possibility. But I don't think he has to recruit that hard to get guys to think about coming to New York City.
I just wonder if they just think it's a nice place to visit, but I just wouldn't want to live here.
But we were talking about pressure, too. Everyone doesn't like the pressure. I mean, New York is only for the esoteric group of guys that rise up to that pressure. So, some guys now, you can make a lot of money anywhere. You know, before it used to be Chicago, New York, L.A. Right. This is where guys wanted to play. But now you can get that money anywhere with less pressure. And I think guys might look at that.
And you could also get famous anywhere. I mean, Kevin Durant's one of the most famous players in the world. He plays in Oklahoma City. It's a real small world now because of the internet and social media. You don't have to play for the Knicks to become Clyde Frazier.
Right. But if he did play for the Knicks,
he might be bigger.
You're right. No question he's going to be bigger. Look what it did for Melo's career. Melo never had sneakers and all the different things he's into now.
Do you believe that Melo should have had the surgery sooner, or do you understand why he put it off to play in this game?
He wants to play. He's a player. That's what they do. So I hear they're trying to shut him down, but I don't know if that's a possibility. Melo still wants to get out there, wants to help his teammates. There's a question whether he should play in the All-Star game. I think he's only playing because it's in New York. You know, I never had an opportunity to play before the home crowd, and I think that's why Melo is going to participate in the game, because it's in New York City.
Now, there is a distinct possibility, he admitted it, that when this game is over, this weekend is over, he'll have season-ending surgery. And we don't know what's going to happen with Stoudemire, and maybe Calderon gets traded. But there's a very good possibility the second half of the season, we're not going to recognize this roster. So what are some of the things we should look for, sink our teeth into in the second half of the season, when there's a lot of people, Walt, quite frankly, just want this team to lose out so they got a better chance at the first overall pick?
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to the bookstore and get a new thesaurus. I think my dictionary might not be good enough, so... No, but you're right. A lot of people think that the Knicks should lose and try to get a better draft choice. But players don't think that way. When you're on that court, you're not thinking about money. You're not thinking about anything but your pride. You play for pride, and that's what the guys are going to be doing. So they're not thinking about, well, we're going to lose and try to get a better player. So ironically, when Melo has been out of some games this year, the team has functioned well. You know, obviously when there's superstars not there, there's better ball movement, there's better continuity, because the superstars always stop the ball when it gets to them. They're trying to create. So there's a possibility the Knicks might rise to the occasion. You know, they're pros. They get paid just like Melo, so they've got to come out and try to perform as well.
Talking to Walt Frazier, what to watch for is driven by Rally Motors here on the Michael Kay Show. With this Knick team, there's a lot of players that you really don't recognize unless you watch them all the time. You've got Galloway, you've got Almanson. Are any of these guys that could be kept and be part of a winning formula next year?
Yeah, I like the three new guys. I like Thomas. Yeah, I like Galloway especially. He knows the game. He plays hard. He's a good rebounder. He defends. He can score. I think he obviously needed some more seasoning to the nuances of the NBA. Amundsen, a guy who has been around, but he has value, man. He works hard. He rebounds. He does all the dirty stuff, not looking to score. So these are three guys perhaps I think they're thinking about.
All right, I keep asking you this every couple of weeks because I just want to get your expert opinion on it because I can't really tell because the team is losing all the time. But are you seeing Derek Fisher grow as a coach? Are you seeing him getting better as the season goes on?
Yeah, and the main thing I've noticed is he's communicating more. Mm-hmm. You know, before he was just stoic, standing on the sidelines, guys substituting guys in and out. He wasn't talking to them. Now he's going over talking to guys, explaining what's going on. And to me, if you don't communicate, you can't motivate people. And I played for Red Holtzman, who was a great motivator. So you've got to talk to these guys, especially the guys today. They're so sensitive. You know, you take them out of the game, they lose their confidence. They're up and down, especially Hardaway. We've seen that with him this season, in and out of the lineup, not knowing his role. So he's a guy you really got to communicate with and try to keep him confident.
Talking to the great Walt Clyde Frazier here on the Michael Kay Show. We're at his restaurant. As you can see if you're watching, yes, great restaurant, 38th and 37th on 10th here in New York City. So drop on by as All-Star Weekend begins just a couple of blocks away at Madison Square Garden. Of the All-Star players and the great players in the NBA, I'm just curious, which one do you love to watch? Which guy do you go, wow, he could play for my Knicks?
Well, obviously LeBron, he's the best in the game, but I like Westbrook. I like Curry. Mm-hmm. I think most of the guys could play in any era because they're versatile. You know, they can shoot the ball. I think what's lacking, though, when I look at guys and they compare themselves to me, you can only compare the offense. You can't even come close to comparing my defense to any other backcourt guy. You know, if you're talking about especially Curry, he's not intense. Westbrook's not intense. Chris Paul, none of these guys brought the intensity that I did on defense and the focus and just getting over guys, getting up into them, creating havoc on the defense.
Does that frustrate you? It seems like defense is an afterthought in this game now.
Yeah, right. It's more entertainment, the All-Star game. When I played, we took a lot of pride in defeating the West. From the first time I was on the All-Star team, I was in the locker room. Bill Russell, Havlicek, all these guys were talking about they did not want to lose to the West. Mm-hmm. So I saw right away it was very important. But now it's more, you know, the game might be 149 to 155 Sunday because the guys just go out and they're working on their dunks and there's a lot of fraternizing and hugging going on and people laughing. So it's a whole different venue from what it used to be.